It was a cold, rainy Friday night when I finished my college classes and headed out to deliver food for DoorDash. I did this to make some extra cash on the weekends. Normally, the orders were steady, but tonight felt different. The first few orders were tiny, barely worth the effort. Just when I thought I'd had enough, a new order came through. It was for a decent amount of money but located far away. The GPS said it would take me 30 minutes, and though the location seemed odd, I decided to take it. After all, it was better than the small orders. The drive was long, and as I moved farther away from the city, the surroundings became more desolate. I passed by empty fields and dark, deserted roads. For some reason, I felt uneasy, but I tried to shake it off. As I neared my destination, I spotted a house in the middle of nowhere, standing all alone. The house was old, with dim porch lights flickering. It was the only sign of life, but everything about it felt wrong. I parked my car and walked towards the house, the rain making my footsteps feel heavier with every step. When I knocked on the door, there was no answer. I knocked again, louder this time, but still, nothing. My heart began to race, and I could feel the eerie silence pressing in on me. I checked the windows, they were dark, and the wood around them was rotting. The house seemed abandoned. I should have turned around, but something held me there. It was as though the place was waiting for me. I felt a strange urge to stay, to deliver the food, but I knew something wasn't right. Then, out of nowhere, I heard a noise behind me. I spun around quickly. A car had appeared, driving down the road toward me. The headlights were blinding in the darkness, and it stopped right next to my car. The door opened, and a man stepped out. His eyes were hollow, almost lifeless, and he didn't speak. My blood ran cold. "Is this your order?" I asked, but he didn't answer. He just stood there, watching me, his silence suffocating the air. I felt a chill that went beyond the rain. My instinct screamed at me to run, but I didn't wait. I dropped the delivery bag and bolted into the field, my heart pounding in my chest. The tall grass scraped against my legs as I ran, and the man's footsteps echoed in the distance, getting closer. He was following me. I pushed myself harder, but the field seemed endless, the darkness swallowing everything around me. Just when I thought I had lost him, I stumbled and fell, my knees scraping the cold earth. I gathered myself and pushed forward, my breath coming in short gasps. After a while, I saw a road in the distance. I ran towards it, looking back to make sure the man wasn't following. There was no sign of him. I collapsed on the road, exhausted, my body trembling from the fear. Soon after, the police found me. But when they went to the house to investigate, it was completely empty. My car was gone, looted, but the delivery bag with the food was still lying on the porch. I couldn't shake the feeling that the man had wanted more than just the food. Something much worse. A few weeks later, I had to drive home for a break. The road was long and dark, stretching for miles with no signs of life. By 10 p.m., I was exhausted and stopped at a lonely gas station in the middle of nowhere. The only other person there was a strange, older man. He approached me with a strange smile and told me to get back on the highway. His words didn't make sense, but I agreed and got back in my car. As I started to leave, the road seemed wrong, the lights were out, and there were no construction signs. It was as if the road had been abandoned. That's when things took a terrifying turn. A pickup truck appeared out of nowhere and stopped in front of me. 4 men jumped out, each holding weapons, metal rods, knives. They approached my car with cold, emotionless eyes. My heart raced as I quickly reversed, my foot pressing the gas pedal to the floor. The men followed, but I didn't look back. I sped away, my hands shaking. It wasn't over yet. Just as I thought I was safe, I tried calling 911, but the call didn't go through. It was as if the whole world had turned against me. The most terrifying thought settled in my mind as I looked back at the old man at the gas station. Was he trying to warn me? His odd advice to turn around and get back on the highway seemed to make sense now. Had he known what was waiting for me? The men in the truck, their blank stares, and the road that didn't seem to exist. I realized then that something dark was at work here, something far more sinister than a simple robbery. Momo. The distorted face, the creepy whispers, the stories that haunted the internet, they weren't just legends. They were real, and they had found me.